Okay. Hi, everybody. Hello, all. Good day to you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. Um, so I want to do this live session. I want to start this live session. I did say I was going to. Hello. Hi. Let me turn my camera so I can see you. Hi, Flobby. I hope I pronounced that right. Hello to you. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I am going to be having these sessions just so that I can address some information for, especially for those that are either in the UK or those that are international students that are about to come into the UK. So this Instagram live, or for this session, I am actually interested in talking about the new tier 2 visa rule for care workers. Now, for international students, as you well know, you are not eligible, you're not care worker as it is. However, there's a way you can really use this to your advantage, and that's where I want to talk about. So I did say in my post when I introduced this session, when I said I was going to do this Instagram live, that when I was doing my master's, because I did my master's in the UK and I did my PhD in the UK, and now I'm lecturing in the UK. But during my master's, I did care work, and I think most, well, not most, but a lot of international students do this type of job in the UK. It's one of the very easiest to get and quickest to get, especially when you just come in and you're like about to, really interested in getting something going. Care work is actually easily accessible for most. The requirement is very minimal. Mostly you are required to just have your visa, which you would have as a student. You have your student visa. Most care agency and care homes, they are happy to take your student visa. They would know that you work 20 hours within term time, and they allow you to then work full time during break, so they are happy for you to do that. So now what I want to talk about is that the fact that most students are able to get this visa, the care work, it makes it easy for you to penetrate into the system. Now, while you're working as a care worker and also support work, both can be done as a student. While you're doing that, you can actually be putting things in place for you to get your tier 2, and which is what is now relaxed. Like I said, when this news came out, I remembered I had a friend who, working with me, with us as well, she was able to apply for no, she didn't apply, she applied for a job. Yeah, so she applied for a job, and she was given the job. Unfortunately for her, after giving the job, we're so excited, like, wow, you're lucky you got the job. But then the care company did not know that she didn't have another visa. They didn't know it was tier 4 visa she had. So, but they now realize, oh, we can't employ you, because eventually it come out that they can't give a visa because this rule had not come. Yeah. So see, this is why I'm excited about this, because now with this rule, as an international student, you can work while you're studying, get the experience you need. Once your visa is coming to an end on your tier 4, apply to some of these care agencies and care home directly, and then you get a job with them. They can now sponsor your visa. Does that make sense? And these people are interested in doing that. It's just that before, the rule says they can't, because there's some requirements that they cannot meet. So because of that, they completely would not. But now they can actually offer you the job. So it's like you're studying and you're working to get experience. And once you finish studying, then you can just use that experience to apply for the visa, and they take you up on your tier 4, take you off the tier 4 onto tier 2. So this is the new rule. Let me briefly explain the new rule. In long short of the story is that previously the tier 2 does not really allow for care workers to employ people from outside the UK, or people that require visa. And the reason is that they normally have a lot of Europeans who don't require visa previously, before Brexit, to work those jobs. But now, because Brexit have made Europeans, most of them have either left or are into something else, and you don't have a lot of people coming from Europe to cover these jobs. So now they need people from outside Europe, and that's where we, sort of like come in, we that were outside from non-European countries. And this is where international students can actually plug themselves into the system as an opportunity to get your tier 2. To be honest and to be truthful, tier 2 after your study is not easy. And so having this channel open now, I think this is one of the good perks of what UK has to offer. So anyway, that's the new rule. Now, I just will talk a little bit about tier 2. What is tier 2 and how do you get on it? So tier 2 is the skilled worker visa, or you could call it skilled worker visa now. So what they want from you is that you have visa that they are able to you have a skill that they're able to give you visa on, and then you can stay in the country. Now, for me personally, I am on the tier 2 visa currently, or the skilled worker visa as you may call it. I am on it currently, and the reason is that I have been employed by a university and they have given me that visa, so that allows me to stay in the country. Now, with the tier 2 visa, which is the old name, for you to get it, you have to have a job that is eligible for that visa. And that's now what this care work jobs are now able to do, because previously they are not allowed to give such visa. Now, working with the you have to also look at the approved employers, because some employers, they are into care but they don't have the certificate. I think there's some certification that they have to get from the Home Office, and they don't have it. So because of that, they would not be able to employ you. They will not be able to give you the visa, sorry. So my advice would be, if you're applying, it would be for you to look at, there's a list, if you check online, just Google tier 2 sponsor list, you will see a long list of all the people that can actually sponsor you. And so it's those people, only those people that you but there's a lot of them. So anyway, so don't worry about, oh my god, it's just a few. There's a lot of them. So but those people are the ones that can give you visa, and that way you can sort of like stay in the country afterwards. So you have to make sure they are before you apply, you have to make sure they are companies that you can get tier 2 sponsorship from. The other thing is that they would also be willing to give you certificate of sponsorship. So most of the time, this kind of conversation come after you have applied. They would have interviewed you and they would have offered you the job. Then there's a conversation around, I need certificates of sponsorship, and for them to now decide, okay, we're willing to give you that. So but that's in a nutshell. Obviously there's a long conversation even more, and I think I will be doing another session on tier 2 visa as it is. But in a nutshell, that's what tier 2 visa is. Now, briefly, international student, how can we benefit? This is the perk of the whole conversation. How can we as international students benefit from this new relaxed rule? So like I mentioned earlier, that international students, a significant amount of international students actually work within care setting. So we're talking about care homes, agencies that offer staff to care homes and care settings, support worker, and agencies as well that also offer staff to support settings. So any of these these job areas can now sponsor your tier 2 visa. So for you as an international student, if you're interested in care, I think I need to maybe have a session, or even maybe briefly now talk about care. Care and support work, they are a bit different. They are sort of like in the same health services area, but they are a little bit different. The thing with care is, and like I said, I used to do it. I mean, I did care for like almost 2 years, and then I went on to support for like about 5 years, because I did my master's and I did my PhD, and I was working all through that period. So I know in and out everything about care and support. But for care, just briefly, for care work, what happens is in most care settings, not all, but in most care settings, you're working with older people. And I really like to talk this because some people come in, or some people don't have an idea of what they expect, and then they come into these settings and they're like, oh my god, that's freaking out, I can't do this. It's not an easy job, and you have to prep yourself. It would be nice, and when you do your what's it called, when you do your training, because you will do training for care work and even support, they would let you know it's not an easy job. It's not and you're working with older people, but long short of it is that you're there to care for them. You're there to keep them company. You're there to, in some cases, you will be giving medication. They would have to train you. You're there to do personal care, and I think that's the one that people really get freaked out about. But you're doing personal care for them. You're washing them, you're brushing teeth, you're doing their hair, you're helping with nails, you just everything personal hygiene, taking them to the toilet, showering. Some of them cannot hold what's the name now, they can't hold their urine or feces, so you're going to be putting there are some things we call pad and the rest of that to help them hold it and take it off. You change it, put new ones. It's a lot of work. Some people can't stand, you have to hoist them. It's hard work, especially in care where you're caring for older people that can't do any of these things for themselves. Imagine you and I, you wake up, you shower, you dress up, and good, all go. These people can't do some of these things, in fact, most of these things. So you're doing that for them. In fact, some of them cannot even get out of bed. So they are like literally in bed. You care for them in bed. That's all they do. So, so in a nutshell, that's what care work is. Now, for support is just a little bit more different in the fact that you're working, most likely you'll be working with younger people, so maybe children or even young adults in most care support setting. Most time they are usually in their homes, or they have a shared flat with groups of people at their age. They are mostly going to have either one form of learning disability or issue or the other. So some of them can be very friendly, very nice, almost like a younger, sibling. You're just there to make sure they're fine. You're just there to, help them with food. Sometimes you go out, you go to cinemas. It can be really fun. For some of them, you go to cinemas, you play games, you don't even feel like you're working because it's not very intense. But there are just a few of them that they also, in addition to not being able to help themselves, they have challenging behaviors. And what that means is that they can be a bit aggressive. They can, I have horror stories when I was working in support. They can be a bit aggressive, they can punch, they can bite, they can literally do everything bad. So that is also something that you would have to consider if you're interested in working around that. So anyway, in a nutshell, let me not bore you too much about what care and support is, but that's like literally, in support too, in some cases you do personal care, but most times support, they are quite able to do things for themselves. They just don't have the intellectual, so they need an adult. In most cases, not all, they just need an adult to be there. So you just tell them, no, don't touch that, it's hot, or get you, and they get things done themselves. So support can be a bit more chilled. In most cases, not all, they might expect you to do care. In some agency, they will ask you to do care first before you then go on to do support, just because of how support can be. Care is like where you get all the experience, and then in support is a bit more chilled, but you have to know what you're doing as well. So anyway, that's care and support in a nutshell. Now, after that, the next thing is that I want to talk about is let me see. So yeah, is for international students, how do you get into care and support? You get into care and support, like I mentioned, as a part-time role, true part-time role. So I, for example, when I was doing my master's, I'm allowed 20 hours. So is every one of you if you come into the UK for your masters, you're allowed 20 hours during term time. And every time there's break, I'm always on my calendar, right? I'm looking ahead. You have to look ahead as well. You have to really look ahead and see when is my next break. And you start prepping your agency, because I worked with agency throughout. You start prepping your agency. I'm going to be available between, for example, December period. School is going to be on break. Can I have full-time shifts? And they would most likely offer you if they have. One thing that I also used to do, and this is just a peck, I had several agencies. I think I had like 3 at some points, sometimes 2, so that, because most agencies don't always have work, so where this agency is not able to offer you job, you're on to the next one, because you need money. Now, for when you join as a part-time, when you join with agency, you can gain those experiences and then use that to apply for this tier 2 visa, which is, like I said, I didn't have that when I came for my master's, and so I feel this is a really big opportunity and you should take it. Now, how do you apply for care work when you come into the UK? Bam, from your country. I assume many of us will be from Nigeria. You're coming from Nigeria and you've landed in the country. So how do you apply for the care work, or support work, or either one of the two? The first thing you will do is to I normally tell people, as soon as you enter into the country, get your NI. So NI is like they call it national insurance number. So this number is what every worker in the UK would do. Need before you become a worker. You need that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. So you need that NI. So I always tell anyone that is coming to the country, as you're landing and you get a phone number, obviously you should get phone number ASAP. As you're getting the phone number, the first person you should call after your family, of course, call your family, but immediately is NI, because it can't take long. I've known some people, when I came, which is years ago, my NI took me about maybe 3 weeks, and then it got shorter to like 2 weeks. But now, during COVID, I actually knew someone that waited for almost 6 months to get their NI. It was long and ridiculous. So first thing, get your NI going. So when you apply for your NI, most time, because it's, like I said, due to COVID, they don't really wait for you to get to the end. They don't wait for NI, but you should just apply for the NI, and then you start your processes. So what you do with once you apply for NI, you will be able to, you might not have it immediately, like I said, but you can tell them, oh, I've applied for my NI, it's coming. Sometimes they give you a temporary NI number, just like a reference number, and you will use that to apply for jobs. So when you do that, you also apply for DBS. Most agencies are the one, or care settings, they will be the one to apply for DBS on your behalf. Now, DBS is, I'm not sure I remember the full name, but long story short, it's like a background check of your past. If you have any criminal record in your past, they have to pull that out, because you're working with vulnerable people, and UK take this very, very seriously. Anyone with any criminal record in the past might not be allowed to work with these people. So the DBS is something you must do. DBS before you go into care setting of any type, you must do it. So, but they will apply for it for you, and in most cases, most people just pass through. It's quite how many people have that much what's it called, criminal record in the past? So yeah, you do that. Then the next thing is that you will need your BRP. So you give them your BRP, you add your BRP to the application, what's it called now, to the application documents. So you will get your BRP, and which is your visa, or your from Nigeria or from wherever you're coming, they give you just a 1 month on your visa, and then when you come in, then they give you go and collect your BRP. It's a card. What is actually my BRP? Anyway, it's like ATM card. You go and collect it, just a small little card like that. So you get your BRP, and then you also add your student letter. I think mostly these are the things you will need. Then after that, they would employ you. Most agency would employ you. Most The employment is, so when they employ you, the employment is usually no contract. So it's like, come in, if we have a job, we give you. If we don't have, we are not obligated in any way to give you work. But like I said, that's why you usually have two or more, because sometimes they don't have a job and it's not because it's zero contract hours. They are not obligated to give you work. So if there's no work, there's no work. So but when you have two or more, you can sort of like move around both places, or both jobs. So when you get that zero contract hour, then they would have you trained. Depend on the agency. Some agencies would have you trained for, you can't hear me? Can you not hear me? Sorry. How about people that want to apply from Nigeria? Okay, I'll come into that conversation in a minute. But please, can you hear me first of all? Oh, you can hear me now. Okay, thank you. So let me just finish on this one, and then I'll talk about if you want to apply from Nigeria very briefly. So the reason why I want to focus on these people, student people that are already in the UK, is, to be truthful, that's the easiest route to get this. That is it. I've had people come into my DM and ask me how to get it from Nigeria. So immediately I posted that thing, and I will talk about that. But the truth is, the easiest is from the UK. There are thousands of international students in the UK. Those people will grab this opportunity faster than you in Nigeria. But it doesn't mean that it's not possible. I'm only just saying this is the easiest route. So I'll just talk briefly on that. So yeah, they train you, and then after depending on the agency, you might be trained. So you don't really need experience previously, because they will train you, and your training will be like maybe 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, a week long. Then after the training, you will go for what is called shadowing. Now with shadowing, it means you will go and look at what is done, because you're working with vulnerable people. Honestly, it's very delicate, and so they don't want you to get there and then you're treating somebody's grandparent like just pushing them back and forth. You have to be gentle. You have to see how things are done. And like I said, you need to do personal hygiene, and some people don't like it, right? So you don't want to get there and then you're telling somebody, oh my God, right in front of them. Is a bit, so they let you know exactly what you're going to do. You shadow someone as well and see what is happening. If you're okay with it, then you would now be given shift for your own self. So that is sort of like in a nutshell what the whole care thing is. Now, like I said, there are some care settings that are quite big. The best way for you to get some of these jobs will be to go and look at the if you just Google tier 2 sponsor list, you will see a lot of the sponsors, and just check care homes. And when you check them, have a note of them, then you go and search jobs, and then you look for jobs that are from those care settings. Because okay, thank you, you can hear me, fab, thank you. So yeah, you go and look for jobs that are by those care settings, and then they will be able to sponsor you. Because keep in mind, it's not every care home or care setting that can sponsor this visa, so you need to first check that they can sponsor you. Now a few of them, there are a lot of them, but like Bupa is a very big care setting in the UK. They are like literally all over the UK. So that those kind of really big places, they'll be able to sponsor you. Some agencies as well, a lot of the agencies can, but you have to just make sure you check. You see an agency and you're like, go and check if their name is on that list. If they are, then they can sponsor you. If they are not, then they can't, because like I said, there are requirements and the rest of that. Now, when it comes to amount, there are a little bit of requirements. The job has to be £25,000 per year for them to be able to sponsor you, or it's £10 an hour, so 10.10. £10, 10p an hour. And to be honest, most agencies will be able to afford this. When I was working as an agency, when I first came to the UK, I was working for like £7 an hour, and then it went all to I mean, you talk to people, you try and know who pays more, where they pay more. So, getting to know that this agency pay more. Then I left, I moved to another agency. By the time I left care, I was getting about £11 an hour. And then I went to support, and that went all the way to like maybe 15, yeah, £15 an hour. And obviously, so weekend especially, you get like £15 an hour. So, and obviously when you now have what's it called, bank holiday, public holiday, some places are double, some places are even almost triple, so they pay you a lot. So you just need to, but the best thing is try and make sure it's not less than £10 an hour, because then that way it will meet this visa requirement. And then someone is requesting, I would allow you in a minute. And then anyway, so in a nutshell, that's all about I think that's all I have about the tier 2 visa for care worker option. Now when it comes to applying from Nigeria, because someone's asked me if I for those that in Nigeria. Now if you're outside UK, ideally yes, you can apply for any of these jobs. But keep in mind, like I said, it will be a bit more competitive. The first thing for care homes or care settings to consider you would be if you have the experience, right? So it's not just about applying for those jobs. Yes, they will train you. They will train you for sure, but they need to know if you know what is expected. Because, like I said, these jobs, they can actually be a little bit, just a little bit, off-putting for some people. So they need to know that you have an experience before they can then offer you such a such job. So my response to that is, first of all, do you have the experience? Do you know what it takes to do care, to do support? And then yes, another route that some people can use is if you know someone that has a company, an agency that has this tier 2 tier visa list, like I said. So there are some people that we know. I mean, we know quite a few agencies, and some of them, they are on that list. You can talk to them even if you're not in the country. It depends on your relationship with the owner. So you can talk to them like, can you offer me a job in your company? So, and then crossing that way. I think that might be the easiest, because if you don't have that experience, really showcasing, because you have other candidates, like I said. I mean, for example, an international student that have been working for like maybe a year or even longer, compared to you that you haven't worked with them, it will be a bit tricky to convince them like, I can do this job more than this person that has been working for you for like a year. So another one would be if you know someone, maybe an uncle, maybe a distant cousin that is into care and have an agency, they can use that to sponsor you to come in, because now they are allowed to do so. I'm not putting anyone on the spot, I hope. Before you go and meet one of your uncle and it's like, no, I can't do it. And it's like, yeah, I heard you can. You now have the... I'm just saying, if possible, that would be another route to get it easier than just applying. Now, however, if you, let's say, for example, you've had the experience, maybe you used to be in the UK, for example, you used to be in the UK for maybe some years, and you did these jobs, and then you left to go back to Nigeria, which many international students do. They come in, they work, they get money, and then maybe after their program, something, whatever the reason, and people, they have other things to go and do it back in their home country, maybe in Nigeria, and they go back. So obviously, if you go back, you already have the experience. Now, how can you apply? For that, my advice would be, you need to search online, care work. I literally, before starting this live session, I just searched care tier 2 sponsored care work on Google, and so many information came out. Now, what's the name? Indeed will be one very good platform. Indeed is a job platform, and they really, I saw a lot of them, a lot of their adverts for this care worker with tier 2 sponsorship. So it would just be to go into this sort of Indeed, read, CV library. These are some platform that carry all these care work adverts. So all you have to do now is to search those job option, those job portals, sorry, and then apply through those. So hopefully, if you have experience before, yeah, you asked before, exactly. I know, and a lot of people have contacted me that are in Nigeria, that are interested in this option, and obviously you should be interested because it would be nice to just have that straight up. You don't have to worry about the cost of studying in the UK, which is a lot. But like I said, if they have experience before, maybe they've been in the UK or somewhere else. It's not only UK that do care work. There are other countries, literally so many other countries, even African countries. So, but if they have the experience before, then it would be nice for them to. But if you don't have the experience, I won't say don't apply, but it's just that it's very tricky to get it from Nigeria or from outside the country if you have not worked in that setting before. But if you have, what you do is you go to, like I said, there's Indeed. Literally, if you Google it, you will find some platform that you can really delve into a bit more. Indeed, Read, CV Library. They have a lot of. When I came to the country, I had to sign up for some of those platform to look for job. I was always going there to look for job until I found agencies that would take me on. So if they go onto those platform, Indeed especially, you will find a lot of jobs that you can apply. Like I would say, is try and make sure is more than £10 an hour, so that you meet the salary requirements or the wages requirements for that, for the sponsorship. And then you apply, and then you tell them about where you are, what you have done. I used to work in this setting, blah 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 blah, I did this, I did that, so they know that you know what you're getting into. And then you have that submitted, because now, previously you can't apply, but now you can apply in Nigeria or in anywhere else, so long as you have the experience previously. That's what I would say. If you don't have the experience, maybe still apply, but it might be tricky in terms of getting it from Nigeria. The other thing is, like I said, if you know anyone, is people help people. I don't know if I should say this, but I remember a long one international student. She knows someone who had a company. They didn't really need her in that company, but they gave her the visa only because they were on that list. So they employed her, and then she now had to get a job somewhere and use that visa to sort of like sort herself. So if you know someone that has agency, especially agency, and is on this list, all you have to do is explain to them or talk to them. They can offer you the visa, come in, and then you find your way. I mean, once you get into the country, that's the easiest to do, to find a job. Once you get into UK, if you're not lazy, you will get a job. That's what I always tell people, because some people, they're like, oh my god, no, if you come in and you're not lazy and you're not picky, they're not like, I can't do this, I'm too fresh and clean like some people would think. So if you're not lazy and picky, you will get work that would give you money to survive and sustain yourself in this country, and that's the truth. But for now, that's what the suggestion I would say. If you have experience, go to job portals, Indeed, Read, CV Library, and have that what's it called, and apply there. But if you don't, then what you have to do is to see within your network if there's anyone that have agency or have access to anyone that have agency. If that doesn't work still, then just apply. But obviously, if you're an international student, it's a bit more close to home because you're literally in it, and I would say apply now if you see jobs anyway. So, and like I said, the job, try and make sure the job that you apply for, so you don't waste your time, should be more than £10 an hour, and most cases you would mostly have that. So I see someone wants to let me accept you. Anyone else outside what I've responded or answered to? Is there anyone else that want to ask me a question? I'm happy to respond to question, and also I'm happy to respond to questions inside this. Hi.
Hi, good evening. Sorry, my name is
Good
Kingsley.
evening.
I'm actually how easy is how easy is it for someone to get a scholarship? I was I'm thinking of trying to come over to UK, but I don't know how easy it will be getting the scholarship. Somebody told me about the care job something, but I'm not so
Yeah.
what I read is engineering. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it and say it's easy, because if I do, then I'm lying. It's not. Thousands, if not more, are also trying to get almost the same scholarship. You have one scholarship and you having like over 1,000 applicants. It can't be that competitive, especially the bigger the benefits in terms of pay and all, the more difficult it can be for you to actually get the scholarship. But what I say to people is people make the mistake, or students, prospective students, they make the mistake. They start preparing for scholarship when they see the advert for the scholarship. And at that point, for me, I believe you're already late. You can't be working towards scholarship when you are seeing the advert. You have to have been working towards scholarship months, if not even years ago. Now, the one thing is, the best way, first of all, most scholarships are recurrent, so they come every year. Most of them, not all, but most do every year. So you need to set your eye on, this is the scholarship I want, for next year, for example. And now, what are the requirements? And then map your skills to those requirements. So where am I lacking? Because if you are very objective and honest to yourself, you would see that there are places that you're lacking. You don't have this. You have to be very objective. You have to be brutal. So don't sugarcoat it like, it's like I have this. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Cut it off and say, I don't have this. Because your the person that was screening, that's how they will be. So it's not going to be like, oh, and he's almost there, he doesn't have it out, because they have a lot of people to screen, right? So when you do that, you will now use that to map out, between this time and this time, maybe, for example, I need to learn so this skill to cover that gap, so that by the time the actual scholarship come out, honestly, you have already started a long time before. That would be my But I mean, if, for example, if you're well established already, you have the qualification. Keep in mind, scholarship, it's not only about qualification. It's not just about I'm qualified for it. No, you have to have outside experience, volunteering, humanitarian services. There's a lot, depending on how big that scholarship is. And there's also so many types of scholarships, right? There are those that are funded by government, by UK government, for example. There are those that are funded by, I'm not sure how, it's very limited, the ones funded by Nigerian government. But there are some that are funded by the university itself. So, and they all depend on different criteria in terms of what they cover financially. Most of the ones that cover more, like the Commonwealth Scholarship or the Chevening Scholarship, they cover literally everything. You literally don't come to the UK with anything money wise. They give you all. They give you your flights, they give you your accommodation, they give you your tuition, they give you even entry fee, they give you exit money, literally all. You don't come in with anything. But those scholarships can be very, very competitive. Yeah. So for me, because I don't know your qualification, I don't know your experiences, so I won't be able to ideally say, oh, it's going to be this easy. You would have to map out, target one scholarship, maybe Commonwealth. That's one of the highest for UK for master's program. Look at Commonwealth adverts. What are the things that they require in the application? Map it to your own and see where you fall.
Okay, let me ask, do one need to apply to the schools first?
It also depends on this type of scholarship. But most, like Commonwealth, Chevening, yes, you will apply to the university first. So when you apply to the university, you will tell them you're going to apply for scholarship. So they will offer you the admission. the universities don't, that is simplest part. They will offer you the admission, because even when you don't get the scholarship, they would hope that you want to fund it. So they will offer you the admission irrespective. So, but you take the admission, you obviously do not pay anything. You don't pay deposit, you don't pay any of those. Then you now take it to apply for the scholarship. For Chevening, for example, you apply for the scholarship. You can apply for the scholarship, then apply for the admission, then take the admission back to the scholarship board and say, I've gotten admission. Because when you apply for scholarship, it takes months before they make the decision. So in between that time, you can apply for admission, take it back to them and say, oh, I've gotten the admission. Then they can make decision. But the easiest will be, I mean, it takes like some universities 2 weeks, a week, you get your decision. Some university can be that fast. Although for the past a year or so, it's been really, it takes longer because a lot of people are applying, especially from Nigeria to the UK. It's ridiculous how many students we have. But apply for the admission will be my best first suggestion. Apply to the university, get your admission. For Chevening is 3 universities. So you have 3 universities admission. Then you apply to Chevening and tell them, I've gotten admitted into this. Some of them, they will give you the type of courses you should apply for as well. So they will give you a list of courses, and then you need to choose the one that, you can do that fits your area in those lists. And then you now use that to apply for the scholarship. So,
okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. Anyone else wanna have question? Very informative. Thank you for joining. I'm happy to still answer questions either about this care work visa or either about scholarship. I mean, I've been running quite a few sessions on scholarship conversations before now, and I hope I will run some more as well, especially as the scholarship comes out, because like I said, there are different criteria that you need for some of these scholarships. The ones that you apply directly to the university.
Sorry, can I take you back?
Okay.
Sorry, I joined a little bit late. The care work something. What's like someone in Nigeria? What does it take to apply? I know normally the background check, all those things.
Thank you,
that's what I know anyway.
I hope I will please.
Hello?
Yeah, if you come to tier work, can you at some point combine it with schooling, same masters, or you have to change visa to study? Okay, I've just got a different question in the chat. Your network is hanging, Mr. King, I believe, if I'm correct with the name. I will just answer this question.
Okay.
That I'm getting in the comments. Should I? Gilaria, I hope I'm calling this right. Sorry if I'm not name. Should I have you in? Yeah, let me have you join and ask the question. I'm happy to answer that. So your question is up. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, if you this is actually quite a nice question, because I currently hire. Do you want to still ask it, or should I answer from the chat?
Answer, please.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
The picture.
Please don't tell me it's who I think it is.
Please, can you remove the picture?
What picture?
I can see myself.
Really? Then you have to go out. Just go out and I'll answer you.
Okay.
This is my dearest person. Oh, I didn't know it was you. I would have. Can I see Michelle?
She's not here. I'm alone.
Oh. I want to put Michelle on the spot, but okay, that's fine. Okay, so for your question, thank you. You can drop out.
How?
If you drop out, I can still answer you. Yeah, okay, fab. So for your question, please, if one comes through the tier 2 work visa, can you at some point combine it with schooling, say a master's, or you have to change to a study visa? Ideally, the usual one is that you will come into the UK with a tier 4 and then you swap to tier 2. it would not be advisable in any way for you to come into the UK with a tier 4 and with a tier 2 and then go to tier 4. No, that's not how it that's not encouraged. Anyway, you can, if you come in with a tier 4, with a tier 2, you are not allowed to be on study full time. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to study full time. Say a master's program, you can't do it full time because your visa is sponsored by your employer, who is the one that's giving you the tier 2. If you in the tier 2, I don't know if I mentioned, there's something they call certificate of sponsorship, COS. For international students, you would have heard about CAS, the certificate of acceptance. I believe that's the name in for tier 4. So, but for the tier 2 is course. So for the course, they are the one that are sponsoring you. So it means that you're in the country with them full time. So because of that, you are not allowed to study full time as well. Now, what you can do is to study part-time. So you can be on a part-time with your employer. You would have to maybe explain to them, I would like to, because master's program, for example, in my university, I'm teaching master's students. We expect them to be in school at least, if you're on a part-time, at least once a week. So you would have to talk with your employer that I want to have one day a week to do my master's part-time. That's the only way you can do it. Unfortunately, you can't do full-time because that would not be allowed. Hi, Louis _Chi11. Welcome. So yeah, that's the only way you can do it. You will not be allowed to do full-time, but you can do part-time while you're on that tier 2 visa. Now, the other thing that I have not mentioned about tier 2 visa is that when you're on tier 2 visa, you only need 5 years on tier 2 visa for you to become eligible for ILR, which is the permanent residency. So indefinite residency, you only need 5 years on the tier 2 visa. With your tier 4 visa, you need 10 years. And that's crazy long, right? So that's why it doesn't make sense for you to be on tier 2 visa and then go to tier 4 visa. Ideally, it should be for you to go tier 2 visa. So long as your employers are still happy to keep on employing you, you should then use that if you want to study, then you should do that part-time while you're still with your employer. And one thing, to be honest, with tier 2 visa is once you have your tier 2 visa, it's actually not the easiest, but the first one is the hardest. For tier 2 visa, the first one is the hardest. Once you get your tier 2 visa the first time, the next employer know that someone has employed you before. So that means they know you have what they want. You know your skills, you know your job. That's why they've employed you on tier 2. So the next employer, happily, they just give you tier 2 and the next one and the next one. I mean, I was talking to a colleague a few days ago, and she was like, oh, I want you to come to my university. It would have been nice if you're working in my university and the rest of that. And she was like, oh, except that because she's British, right? And she was like, oh, except that you need a visa. And I said, no, it doesn't affect that I need a visa because I'm already on a tier 2 visa. I got a job last year. You can get it. Like, once you get the first one, the others are just almost like a walk in the park, because they know you are able to work at that level, so it becomes easier. And there's several jobs, actually. There are several jobs on tier 2, depending on your this thing, of course, depending on your area. For my area in health, we do have a lot of adverts going out almost always for tier 2 sponsorship, that they can sponsor your visa once you meet the criteria, of course. So I hope I've answered that question, that ideally, it would be for you to be on tier 2 visa and then do your master's part-time if you want to, rather than go back to tier 4 visa, because with tier 4, you're having 10 years to get onto the ILR. With tier 2, is 5 years. So it doesn't make sense to go back to 10 years when you can easily just go back to 5 years. Go on to 5 years and get your ILR. Okay. Like I said, for everything I have planned out, this is it for this session. I don't know if there are any other questions anyone would like me to respond to. If not, I would try and keep this going as much as possible. I will be happy for questions that might be coming in as well. Any question? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jilara. Oh my God, this is your name. I feel like I should call your actual name. I know, but I'll Jilarevas, Revas. Thanks, everyone. Thank you all for joining. For those that asked question, for those that did not ask question, I'm happy to have your question in the DMs if you want to do that. If that's better for you, do have a good evening wherever you're joining me from. Oh, for those that don't know, because some people might be like, why is this girl talking about these things? I came to the UK years ago, eons, it feels like eons ago, as an international student, and I struggled as well. I struggled, really struggled, because there's some information that I just didn't get. But obviously now that I've been in the country for so long, maybe not so long, but for some years now, and I've finished my PhD. I got a scholarship for my PhD. I finished my PhD. I got a job literally before I even finished my PhD. I got a job. It was amazing. I was hoping I could have some time to rest, but I literally got a job almost literally immediately as I was finishing my PhD. And now I've been working for almost 2 years. And yeah, so almost 2 years I've been working and also getting what's it called? Also getting senior lecturer promotion. It's been fabulous journey. Anyway, thank you all. I would end this now. Thank you so very much. I would see you. I'll try and keep this up hopefully every week. So I think I will see you next week with another question session on international student experience in the UK, where I'm talking as an international student, former international student, and current lecturer, doing admissions, calling up international students. So when you hear some phone calls, it might be me chasing you up to come and join my university. So as university staff, as lecturer, and just all those other things that I am currently doing. So see you next week. Do have a good week off. Yeah, bye y'all. Bye. We're gonna end this now.